What's going on, Capricorn? Welcome to your weekly forecast for the week of October 5th through October 11th of 2020. Man, this is crazy stuff. Let's just go to the chart with you. We got a pretty wild week coming, I think. We do have Pluto going direct. So we got all that Capricorn energy in your first house is now online with this inertia of moving forward. So, I mean, it's been a year of really redefining your identity and how you're going to move forward. Big evolution stuff within yourself, to be honest, and you know, it's all going forward. We're never going to see Jupiter and Saturn with Pluto in our first house again in our lives. So it's a big shift and a big, like, I would say, off to the races point with where you want to go with your soul's identity and your divine path and drive here. And of course, the sun in Libra in your 10th house is trying to have you focus on long-term plans, is trying to have you go illuminate structures that are going to take you to the top. And it's going to square Jupiter. I keep saying Pluto instead of Jupiter. Anyways, Jupiter. This is trying to have you break free and give you like a gift of doing what aligns with your identity in a big way and expanding on this newfound identity here. But you almost have to be willing to take the gift of all the work that you've done and kind of like find some confidence and just go for what it is, you know, what you want. Take the risk here with the sun in the 10th also. And then we got Mars retrograde, of course, in your 4th. Whoops, that's Chiron. Mars retrograde in your 4th here, which is going to start, of course, squaring Pluto this week. Whew. There's still a lot of transformation going on, I would say, and it's deep and emotional, and it's trying to help you find that true self as we make this last push out. But we got to be able to actually put, I would say, our energy into nurturing ourselves in deep emotional ways. That would be very constructive and not, I guess, letting emotion run wild and kind of projecting that in a negative way. So, you know, it's definitely a lot of energy here being directed at, you know, nurturing and taking care of yourself and you know, almost giving yourself a pat on the back for things that have been done that can help you move forward, because big things are shifting. And of course, you know, the opposition of that is Cancer. And after we get this Moon Rahu quincunx Pluto, which is already kind of weird, you know, it's like we're trying to take the steps in life to figure out what kind of reality we want moving forward and how we're going to, you know, put it into order and get there on the daily base. Also have to take care of our health here with the North Node and the Moon there. And this transformation can feel a little, I would say, weird if we're not starting to at least by now put the daily work into where we want to get to like that. This new, not a new moon, but this moon's going to move into Cancer here, and it's going to make the third quarter square. Relationships, and that's what I was going at, is like, it's big here. We have to make sure that other people in relationships align with our soul's identity here in the transformation in a big way. And this square is going to make sure that, like, are people and relationships part of long-term plans? And that's things that have to be answered. And, you know, if they are, boom. Like, they get you, they see you, the vibe's right, the love's there, everything's mutual. It's go time. It's take them to the top with you, or, you know, anything like that. But if the vibe isn't there, it doesn't feel right, if things feel off and not emotionally connected, you know, well, you got to move forward with yourself and your plans. And I think emotionally you could want to attach to other people right now, but only attach if the vibe's right. And then Mercury, of course, in your 11th, like, talk about like attaching to people that the vibe's right. Like, I think we want to innovate and stimulate our minds in big ways, but we have Uranus down here in opposition as Mercury gets ready for a retrograde. So it's almost like we need to find any sort of people that get us from like a really unique heart space place. And if they don't see like your love, your creativity, your passion, and your uniqueness, it might bring up rough conversations within groups of friends and people in general, and how we want to see the future and go there and make these plans take place. So definitely could be some electricity as this plays out for most of the week and into next week, as Mercury stations retrograde and really slows down as Mercury's about to pass us in orbit around the sun. Venus in the 9th house is trying to see the beauty and harmony in just the adventure of life and how we can expand and see the beauty all around us without just like, I guess, looking at it so narrow-mindedly. We have to expand. And this Venus, of course, is going to sextile Uranus in that 5th house. The expansion is of the heart, and that is what is shifting the identity, and that is what's trying to move forward to take us to new places. And we have to be willing to disconnect from things that aren't of a higher vibration of love, joy, happiness, fun, creativity, because that's not really a part of the adventure, I want to say, and that's not going to show you the value that you're looking for. And that's like the nice part. And then Venus, of course, is making sessi quadrants to Mars retrograde in the 4th, and sessi quadrants to Pluto, Jupiter, and Saturn, now direct in the 1st house. I think if things emotionally don't feel right with your identity, they're not meant for the adventure. And you're going to know that the value isn't there, and the connection isn't there, and the beauty isn't there. But it's like the stimulation of love and a high vibration is going to take you into a beautiful place of the future. So it's a big week. I mean, there's a lot of trust too, and just almost surrender, you could say. Let me erase some of this because it's kind of messy. We got Jupiter here, making the sextile to Neptune as well. Neptune in the 3rd, I think, you know, there's like a beautiful spiritual message that's coming through to take your identity into full alignment with where it's going, and you have to like surrender to relationships that aren't of that vibe, to friendships that aren't of that vibe, and go towards goals that actually align with your identity. And you have to trust that Spirit's giving you all the messages you need, and, you know, surrender to that, and listen to that intuition. And it's going to take you, that's the gift, is listening to the messages you're receiving that are going to make your environment and your identity shine and stand out. Pretty wild week, a lot going on. Hey, pulled the star card. Yeah, I mean, it feels that way, right? I think the last couple of years could have felt like a tower incident where things are just blowing up and shifting and changing within our identity and who we are. Well, it's definitely time to move forward in a new guided perspective and surrender to what could take us on this new journey, the rest of this journey here, and, you know, to keep the curiosity and to just know that there's a plan now. You know, this card's about trusting in the stars, trusting in the guide. It has like a little dog in it. The dog usually in tarot is usually like one of the guides. You're not the fool anymore. This is a big shift. I think you've grown up a lot. I know I've grown up a lot as a Capricorn, and this is trying to take us on this new journey towards this ultimate destiny, and we got to be willing to listen to that guidance and trust that we are on the plan, and listen to those messages that come through. And even if they're not clear, just to be curious enough to make it part of reality. I love you very much, Capricorn. I hope you have a great week.